Okay, hello. Hi, all. If you're new here, I'm Amelia, and today I'm going to be talking about the hardest part of university for me. This is obviously just my experience. I'm sure it's not going to be the same for everyone, but as a competitive and driven person, this was a big shock when I came to uni. I know there's going to be lots of people starting in September, and hopefully, this video serves as a bit of a pre warning, bit of context for those going in, especially if you're competitive like me. Okay, so by the time you get to university, you'll have studied in secondary school, college, A levels, all that, and you'll have had to get good grades to get there. But university is where most people hit a motivation block, not because they don't want to do well and achieve good grades, but because that's what everyone wants. But despite how good your grade is, it just doesn't really feel like enough. If you've reached university level for a subject, it means you've done well previously in it or something similar. If you want to study biology at university, you'd have had to achieve a B or higher in your A levels. Not new information, not rocket science. So when you get to uni, you'll have reached a good level of academic success. And for a lot of people, this is everything they've been working towards for the last 3, 4, 5 years, or at least it was for me. So in those last 5 years, you'll have been getting 70s, 80s, 90s in your test scores, and this is just completely normal. And you've also had lots of other people you can compare test results with, see where they went wrong, average score, how they felt after an assignment. But when you go to university, it's very different. The work becomes a lot harder, and you suddenly have to put a lot more effort in to get the same results that you were getting in school or college. You've essentially peaked, and everything after that is about staying there. You know, when you reach the top, the only way you can go is down, and you're expecting to win all the time. You're expecting to get that same like warm feeling of like, wow, I've just done that. But when that's what you're expecting to get, you don't get it anymore, because when the win is an expectation, you no longer feel like a winner. You just feel like, oh, I've met my expectation. So after you've done like an assignment or a test, all of your results are given to you online. It's not like in a classroom where everyone gets a test back and you and your friends can talk about how you did, and people in your class can share like how they found it. You're just mostly on your own, and you no longer have results that you can compare to. And lecturers don't give out the stats really. So the only person that you're comparing your work with is yourself, which is an incredible adjustment, because when the foundation of your academic success is competition and comparison, and that's taken away, your results essentially just become a number. Think about it as you're used to being one of the smartest people in the room, but now you're the only person in the room. Maybe it's your frontal lobe developing, and it's probably healthier for you in the long run, but it's so difficult to motivate yourself to study and to work really hard for your degree when the outcome just looks like a number and there's suddenly nothing really to work towards because it doesn't mean anything. So, for example, I had a presentation last term and I worked pretty hard for it, and I got 78, which is first, or an A, I guess, if you're in college. And I wasn't happy. I was kind of furious because in my head, I had done the most perfect job on this presentation, in the slides and the delivery. I think it was a 5 minute presentation, and I did exactly 5 minutes. I'd like timed it on my phone on the desk, and it was so good that there were no questions because I'd covered everything. So in my head, I was expecting like an 85, maybe even a 90. And I'd only got 7% less than that. But in my head, I hadn't made my makeup. I hadn't met that like made up target that I'd expected. So I'd failed. And this is a classic example of what happens with most assignments. You set expectations for the same results and the quality that you'd have put in at A level in school, and you're disappointed. So it's either a question of lowering your expectations or working harder. Now, I haven't graduated. I've done 2 years at uni. I did a foundation in the first year. And so I don't know the outcomes of what's going to happen if you either choose to lower your expectations or to work harder. But my plan going into second year is to do a bit of both. Humble myself by saying I'm going to get 60, 70, but work hard enough to get the 70 and 80, because I have obviously done that. That's what I've been doing the last 2 years, but I've just been disappointed every time because I'm expecting like an 80 or a 90, which is what I would have got in school and college. So will it work? Time will tell. But this video is essentially to discuss my difficulties and maybe prepare others. It's a lot about mindset, and maybe I should mention that earlier, that when you come to uni, your mindset around success and around what that looks like is very, very different. Obviously, to get into uni, you have to be getting 80-90% on exams and stuff because they're expecting this, because the grade boundaries are obviously very different. They're expecting a certain quality, and you put yourself there as if like, okay, I have to get this. But when you come to uni, that grade boundary drops a lot, and the to pass on to the next year is going to be like 40%, unless you're doing a foundation year, which is 60%. And suddenly your whole mindset around what a grade means has to change. So, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. I will see you next time. I hope this has been helpful to some people, because this is definitely a piece of advice I would have loved to have had before I came to uni and was so shocked and disappointed all the time. But yeah, I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.